left behind. Not a minute wasted on the truth.
So many reasons to stay. It's taking.
How the fuck did you two let this happen? How the fuck did you let Jeffrey Epstein, of all people, into the fucking server? Were you not checking names? Did you not see who you approved before you let them in? Which just goes to show how badly you did your jobs. You let the ghost of a pedophile in my fucking server. Get out! Anyways, hello again. Carmen Ryder here, back with another commentary. Today we're talking about another repeat offender, Dorkly. The video is titled 5 Baffling Uses of CGI in Movies. Anyways, let's get into it.
Ha! It's Today in Nerd History. Bet you didn't know who it was. It was me. It was me.
You're not funny.
Today in Nerd History!
Bad news, guys. The war is over and CGI won. The days of cool Ray Harryhausen stop motion, Toho city stomping, Lucas miniature exploding practical effects are unfortunately over.
Actually, no. You're just not looking in the right places. If you want more practical effects, go watch Tokusatsu. Actually, don't. The last thing we need is more normies.
Fortunately over. And while an occasional amazing practical heavy movie comes along like Mad Max Fury Road, nothing will change producers' mind that CG is the way to go, even for times where it doesn't even make sense. This isn't about good CGI versus bad CGI, no. This is about 5 baffling uses of CGI in movies. What?
CGI is like makeup. The best kind of it is when it looks like it's not there. So wouldn't it being baffling be a good thing? Now, I'm gonna skip over number 5 since he does have a point here, and even if I did make an argument, it would just be repeating the first point, so I'm just gonna skip this one.
Positive thing. Number 4, 50 Shades of Grey pubes, or 50 pubes of grey. Pubes in 50 Shades of Grey.
You're not funny.
50 Shades of Grey. When tiptoeing the line of acceptably crass mediocrity, the 50 Shades of Grey makers had to prepare for all contingencies. This meant hiding the lead actor's shame glands with discreet prosthetics that could be digitally painted over when they slipped into frames. And they did, and they were painted over with pubes.
Yeah, they had to make it acceptable for theaters without making it look too jarring. I mean, we've all seen the stereotypical light beams for whenever ecchi has to comply with TV channel standards. Would you rather have that, or this? Plus, some actors have specific rules about appearing nude in movies and TV.
That means it was somebody's job to fixate on the thickness and color and texture of a stranger's pubes, which is normally just a fun hobby. So as far as labored, artificial, confusingly complex but ultimately stupid things go, digitally painted merkins are actually a pretty good thematic adaptation of the book.
If it's pretty good, then why bring it up?
The book. Number 3, nudity. Thanks to our new and terrible digital age, we now have a bizarre half measure when actors don't want to do nudity.
You're not funny. You know, you'd think a member of Dorkly would know how a fucking joke works, but I guess not.
Nude scenes. Jessica Alba okayed this technique when she filmed Machete, because somehow it made sense to spend tons of money and man-hours to take off the clothes of an attractive woman, but stop short of actually depicting her naughty parts.
This goes back to my previous point. Some actors have contractual obligations that relate to nudity, and by law, directors have to follow that. Though sometimes filmmakers call for a scene to be nude, so sometimes CGI is the route to take.
The 2011 movie The Change Up, which for some reason billed itself as a comedy, also tried to trick you into thinking that you saw its 2 female leads in the butt.
You're not funny.
Both Olivia Wilde and Leslie Mann covered their bits with pasties that were painted out in post. Leslie Mann reportedly even requested that they size up her goods in the editing room.
Yeah? Who doesn't want to look presentable?
If only they could have airbrushed some jokes into the movie, then we'd be getting somewhere.
You're not much better either.
Number 2, Steven Spielberg soils his most beloved movies. It's egregious, and you already know about it, but it's also too insane
You're not funny.
not to cover. Maybe Spielberg was coming back to E.T. with new perspective after having children of his own, but that's no excuse for swapping out the cops' shotguns for walkie-talkies.
Out of all the CGI changes to that movie, you picked the guns, of all things, to comment on. Also, that was done for the sake of ratings, since nowadays a PG rating means nothing anymore. Now granted, the uncensored Blu-ray is rated PG according to Amazon, but given how weird the ratings board is at times, it's understandable that they would have unrealistic expectations. I'll leave a link in the description of a video by Sterling talking about how the ratings board is poor at times, especially when it comes to PG and G movies. And I'll leave a link in the description to an article by MovieCensorship.com about the ET uncensored versus censored cuts so you can see all the changes.
Talkies. Thankfully, he repented for this decision in the Blu-ray release. The same thing happened to Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, but this time there wasn't even any perceived child endangerment. All it took was someone looking at this Nazi butthole flying off a cliff and deciding that this matte painting wasn't good enough for the HD broadcast version. So someone whipped up a weird computer-generated cliff face. Spielberg relented yet again in this case, and the Blu-ray release reverted back to the original shot.
You're not funny.
Yes. Number 1. The Pear! Oh my god, the Pear from episode 2. Look, you can't blame George Lucas for wanting to use CGI to realize exotic alien races and fantastical landscapes and exciting space battles. No, the real crime here is Padme.
Oh joy, prequel hate. How naive we were back then. Also, you're not funny.
Pear. This pear doesn't exist. It's a computerized figment of a fruit, which should be made painfully obvious by the way it just slides onto the fork. And if that doesn't convince you, the bite Natalie Portman takes looks like a toddler trying ice cream.
Out of all the problems you found with the prequels at the time, you picked a fucking scene of them eating a pear. I didn't know CinemaSins ran Dorkly.
For the first time. And all the team had to do was go down to the local bodega and pick up a pear, put it on a string, and fix the picture later.
Yeah, but that would look painfully obvious. An object on a string can only have so much movement, and that limited range of movement can easily give away the effect.
Replacing awesome practical effects with CGI. Most of the time, special effects choices are made in pre-production, but sometimes a movie will start shooting before they choose to use CGI, and you get a glimpse at what could have been. Check out these monsters from I Am Legend. Pretty spooky, huh? But here's what we ended up with instead. Some stretchy goofballs that look like they belonged in a zombie mode of a wrestling video game on PlayStation 2.
Even though this time they actually look like zombies? The clips you showed before, they look like aliens.
Something like Jurassic Park holds up really well because of a smart mixture of computer-generated and practical effects.
You're not funny.
A talented effects team hands in some ridiculously great work for something like 2011's The Thing. All it takes is an exec to say, "The kids won't like this," and suddenly it becomes an impersonal mess of weightless polygons. Okay,
Pretty sure modernizing any movie from the 80s is gonna end up in disaster.
polygons. Okay, so 2011's The Thing wasn't great to begin with. And would the original effects have saved the new movie? No, but that's just it. Why the hell would you take away one of the only unique aspects of your crappy...
It seems really odd that most of the picks you choose for this list were movies that were shit to begin with. Like, I get trying to make a movie a bit better, but even then, CGI is not the only issues that exist for these movies.
movie. What, because some dingus in a suit thinks that everything has to be a cartoon? You might say that the movie machine has finally gone pear-shaped. Oh, look, it's a pear. Oh, delicious. It's good. Gulp. You like that, George?
You're not funny. That's all for today. If you want more from me, you can watch my DeviantArt. If you want to support the channel, you can donate to my Patreon. If you want to talk to me directly, you can join my Discord server. And until next time, goodbye.
So am I. So am I. So am I.